Hi, it's Mark here. Monday, the 8th of December. Got four big announcements coming up this week. We've got the Royal Bank of Australia's monetary policy announcement later this evening. On Wednesday, got Bank of Canada and the Fed with their rate decision. And on Thursday, Swiss National Bank. All four certainly will have an effect on the market, none more so than the Fed announcement Wednesday, the 10th, 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. GMT. Let's have a look together how this Fed rate decision will influence the market, notably the US dollar, gold, and stocks, the S&P. Let's look at 2025, the two rate cuts we've already had and how the market responded, and then look forward to expectations following Wednesday's announcement. The consensus is for a third consecutive rate cut of 25 basis points. 89% majority feel that will be the outcome. Small minority feel that rates could get left on hold and no change. Either way, we need to know where the markets stand right now. What are the relevant levels that we're sitting at that we can look at going forward following the decision, and also to differentiate between the immediate response following the decision and something longer term. When I say longer term, maybe days following the announcement and into the end of the year. Let's have a look. Let's get the charts up right now and have a look where we stand. US dollar index pretty flat over the last few days. You can see green candlestick for now, maybe being sold off going into the afternoon portion of the US session. But let's have a look at the way the US dollar index reacted and responded. Firstly, September the 17th, when we saw the first rate cut of the year, the 25 basis point cut. US dollar did not weaken. In fact, it strengthened. Have a look at the rally that we saw the day of and following that US dollar, uh, how the US dollar strengthened following the rate cut. And then the second announcement, the 29th of October, again, we saw the day of and the US dollar rally following that. Did come down a little, then went back up to that 100 level, but has been sold off, possibly in anticipation of a rate cut coming up on Wednesday, but certainly weak US dollar going into it, leveled out for now, but overall downtrend in place. Let's have a look at how gold responded. First, the first rate cut, 17th of September, the day of and following a slight sell-off, and then gold really rallied following that rate cut, all the way up to the record highs close to 4,400. Did come down following that, I think some natural retracement, some profit taking, and came down to that 4,000 level. Right now, sitting comfortably at 4,200. Bias is up. There is demand for gold. We can see that. You can see the higher lows that are in place. Should we get weak US dollar following the announcement, perhaps that'll be a sign or a signal for gold to rally again, break out of this 4,200 area, test 4,300, perhaps even the record 4,400 area. If we see gold weaken following the announcement, support right now sitting at 4,174. 4,100 would be the next level for sellers. And then, of course, that all important pivotal 4,000 level on the downside. And if we look at how the S&P responded to the last two rate cuts in September, we saw a rally following the rate cut, came down a little, but then continued up and all the way up, right up to close to 6,900, that which is high. And then the rate cut the 29th of October, we saw the big sell-off. And that big sell-off, even though rates were cut, I think had something to do with uh, Chairman Powell's statement, his accompanying statement that future rate cuts are not guaranteed. So even though they did cut rates, the market took it as kind of hawkish, and you saw US dollar strengthened and the equity markets came down. We'll see if that's the case and how the market responds this time round on Wednesday after we get that announcement. But we do have our resistance, our support levels in in place right now, and those are the levels we work with. If we do see equity markets strengthen, I think buyers will be looking up at that 7,000 level on the upside. Good trading, keep that discipline, and we will share our thoughts of following the decision on Wednesday. Good trading.